Hello everybody. If you've been following me this far, you will know that this is part 2 of the Alfa Romeo 4C timing belt job. So where we left off was we were going to pull those tools off for the cam locks and the crank lock, and we just went ahead and did that. As you can see, the bottom crank lock is no longer there. On the back side here, went ahead and reinstalled the vacuum pump and the other cap over there on that one. So next up, what we got is we are going to go ahead and install that, which is the, I guess you could consider it the lower timing belt cover, but it also houses the motor mount. So that's what we're going to throw on next. And after that, more than likely, we'll be throwing on the alternator back on and whatnot. But one thing at a time, like I always say. So let's put that cover on. All right, so we went ahead and secured all 4 of those 15 millimeter bolts and 13 millimeter bolts. There's 4 of each one. So that's all good. Next up, we're going to throw the alternator back on and get it secured. Alternator is secured, 3 13 millimeter bolts. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put the serpentine belt tensioner in, as well as the idler pulley here, and continue from there. Okay, so we got the serpentine belt tensioner, with the idler pulley on. Next up, we are going to install the cover for the alternator, which is 2 10 millimeter bolts. Next up, now that that's installed, we can install the timing belt cover. Upper cover is installed, and next we'll be installing this, which goes connecting to these 2 10 millimeter bolts here. Then after that, we'll be installing the engine mount. All right, so we went ahead and installed this. The other thing I also installed was the crankshaft pulley. Kind of late on this, but should have installed that probably first before this, but it is what it is. We're gonna get the serpentine belt on probably next. That way we can go ahead and install the engine mount and go from there. So yeah, let's get the belts installed. So we got the serpentine belt reinstalled, engine mount reinstalled. Next up on the docket, it looks like we can install the other portion of the engine mount, as well as this bracket. So as you guys recall, pretty much goes like that. Once that's like fully bolted in and installed, this goes on there. So take care of that next. All right, so we went ahead and reinstalled this as well. Something I forgot to mention to you guys, when taking this off, you're gonna remove 1, 2, 3. This one's not connected, so there's only 3 holding this on. You're gonna go ahead and remove that. And what I did with this was I put some WD-40 on the end of it, and it's somewhat loose. You can see it still spins around, and then you can just slide it off. After that, everything on the powertrain side so far has been reassembled. I actually did a quick bump over to see if it would start, and it started up perfectly fine, ran perfectly fine, no check engine light. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the quarter panel back on next. All right, we got the quarter panel back on. Everything is lined up perfectly. All those 4 10 millimeter bolts, remember these guys from part 1? Those are in. All the nuts are in, nothing with that. And then also the gas tank side, filler neck side I should say. These 2 are in, hold the cover. Underneath this cover is the 1 230. The 2 10 millimeter nuts here, as well as this guy here. And yeah, so Quarter panel's back on. Everything's lined up, looking great. Gaps are correct. So what we're going to do next is we are going to lift the vehicle up. Actually, no, we're not going to lift the vehicle up. What we're going to do is we're going to install the trunk box. So we'll go ahead and install the trunk box next, and then we'll lift the vehicle up, put the wheel well liner on, the wheel on, and we're going to hold off on the engine cover underneath the skid plate because we want to make sure we inspect the leaks after we fill it up with coolant. So next up, trunk box. All right, so we have the trunk box back in, the weather seal as well. Like I said, remember to keep this portion in the center for good reference. Got all the push pins installed, minus this one, which we're going to order for the customer. Ran the cable for this pull handle, and also advise the customer about this light. If you guys remember from part one, it's not exactly one piece, it's broken. Someone broke it and put some sticky, I forget what you call it, basically some adhesive to keep it on there. Dum-dum is what we call it in the automotive field. But anyway, so went ahead and put that in, all the push pins. We also put in the 2 T30s for the bumper and the 5 T25s for each side cover here. Next up, we're going to put the trunk handle, or I should say prop rod, trunk prop rod back in. And we're going to wrap this up short. All right, prop rod is installed. Next, we are going to vacuum fill the cooling system. After we vacuum fill the cooling system, we're going to lift the vehicle up, install the wheel well liner on the passenger side as well as the wheel, and then we're going to go ahead and install the undercover. So we'll go ahead and take care of those few things and then re-update you guys. All right, filled up the cooling system. Bad girl's running. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it running, lift the car up, and put the wheel well liner and the wheel on, and go from there. But yeah, it's running good. Let's keep it going, people. All right, we got the wheel well liner installed. All that's good. We went ahead and replaced the missing bolts. Phillips head bolts that were there for the customer. That way he's not without his bolts for that. So next up, we're going to put the belly pan back on and get this bad boy on the road. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe. Share the video with anybody you think may need to see this. Any tech, any friend, anything like that. And again, special shout out to my boy Jeremy. You're awesome. This is his vehicle. If you guys haven't checked out his page yet, and there it is. Jerem's DNA. Hit him up. Got awesome content. And thank you guys. I'll catch you on the next one.